Hello everybody, this is Melissa from Southern Planet. I hope you're all doing well. I just wanted to share a quick message to let you know that I feel like I'm going to pull back a little bit from sharing content, be it on my website or social media. I feel in a bit more of a creative mode, but more so like introverted type of creativity. And I've noticed that it's a general trend, like there are a few people feeling the same things and sharing similar messages, and I'm not just copying, I'm also just feeling the same energies. And so maybe you have noticed as well, actually I haven't been sharing much quote unquote controversial things over the last few days because I'm feeling uninspired by that at the moment, and it's fine, it always goes into phases. And actually I wanted to make this video to encourage everybody to listen to themselves, listen to our own feelings, our own bodies, and our own energies. Maybe you'll be feeling the same thing. Maybe this is. I feel this is a collective theme. I don't know if it's connected to the planetary alignments, the astrological alignments, or if it's a cosmic, more large-scale thing. We have the reclamation of the feminine principle. Our mother is coming back, so maybe this is actually in line with those energies. Of mother being, more in the flow and more intuitive and more connected inside rather than outside, which is, there's a time for everything. It's not better nor worse, but I just wanted to say, if you're feeling the same energies, listen to them. But if you're feeling the opposites, also listen to yourself. And I think it's important as we move forward in this ascension phase, right? We are really, the way we are operating, the way we are interacting with reality, our relationship to time, everything is changing really rapidly. And I'm sure all of you have noticed, and I'm sure everybody's feeling it, even if not everybody has the conscious awareness of why that may be, or maybe not everybody is self-aware to the point where they understand that there are shifts in energies and things like that. But definitely everybody is affected in one way or another. This is inevitable. These energies are affecting the entire planet, planetary systems, so even that includes, the plants and the animals and the elements, everybody, right? So every human being as well. And so the reason I'm saying that is because, the way we are being, the way we are really is really changing. And it's important to, and I know it's hard, I know it's hard to really let go of the matrix construct, right? The society's constructs, which we have been raised, and conditioned in from, childhood and even previous lifetimes and so forth, right? So it's really, these are really like deeply ingrained within us, and it's really difficult to change all those habits, the way we are planning for the future, or being in the present, or thinking about the past. All of this is sort of merging, and it's very, this is how I feel it anyway, and I'm sure some of you will relate, that it's becoming very difficult to be anywhere but in the present, right? And this is a good thing, obviously. This is like a natural part. This is the natural evolution which we are moving towards, right? This is the natural ways in which towards which we are evolving, sorry. So I feel this is important to learn to observe them, understand what's going on, or even not understand, but just have an idea of things shifting, being aware of things shifting, bringing our awareness, our consciousness to these things, noticing the patterns, that are blocking us, are restraining us, and learning to let go of them. And really letting go of all these rushing, productive, all this, very, very go, and very, very outwards way of being, which was established as the norm, and as the only norm, and as the only, form of intelligence or success or whatnot, right? That we have been existing in, that we have been entertaining and living by, right? So this is changing, definitely, and I feel this is what the collective energies are about, at this time, when I see a lot of people pulling back. I've seen a lot of people whom I follow on social media saying that they were pulling back for a little bit, going on hiatus, or saying that they were going to post less or whatnot. So there's definitely a general trend, and again, if that's not how you feel, it's fine. The point here is to really understand that there is no one way to be, and it's never going to be the same. We go through phases, things go in waves, and so there's going to be time we want to be outwards, we want to share everything, we have a lot to say, and we want everybody to hear us, whatever. If you have that kind of energy, it's great, just be in that energy. But if you feel like going outwards and backwards, or inwards, actually that's more correct, retreating a little bit, pulling back from the outwards noise, external noise, this is also good to listen to ourselves and just do so, right? Whichever it is. So the point of this, what I was saying, these energies changing, is really learning, are really pushing us to learn to be in the moment, to feel how we're feeling, to tune into how we are feeling in the now moment. So that's what it means to be present, is to not be constantly thinking about the future. Of course, there is a certain degree at which, it's probably healthy to think of the future a little bit, and to observe the past and learn from the past as well, to a certain extent, right? There is a degree at which this is healthy, for sure, but it's also important to understand that this is going to be different than what we've experienced. So people say when you're in the past is when you get depressed, and when you're too in the future is when you get anxious. So if you have problems with anxiety or depression, think about those 2 points. Maybe they will help you. Of course, we are multi-layered. We are much more complex than this black and white saying, but they can give us important hints and important hints to what to work on and what to look for. But learning to be in the present, really learning to tune to ourselves, letting go of all the constructs of what we've been taught, how we were used to do in our previous jobs or even current jobs, and I understand that some of us may have to still work jobs that are very much still in quote unquote the matrix, right? And this can be conflicting and very difficult. But there are ways, in which we can make our life easier. So on your days off, or even in the moment, if you're at work, like trying to observe the thoughts, even if you can't change, job, for instance. To keep with that same example, you can still change, the way what you choose to focus on, practicing gratitude, or shifting your focus to the good things in your life rather than focusing on the negative ones. And again, this is multi-layered. This is always more complicated than these black or white sayings and quotes and whatnot. But as of now, I feel we're really in a phase of learning to just be, and not be so much productive. And like I said, things go back and forth. Things come and go, and it's important to listen to ourselves. So this is like the core message of what I wanted to say. Really listening to ourselves. What is it that I need right now? What is it that is going to make my presence on this planet the most impactful, the most efficient? What is the way in which my energies are going to be the most efficient, are going to be the most useful for not just myself, but for others as well, right? And so this may be at times going outwards, and sharing, information, for instance, or going out and creating a new business and maybe starting a healing practice, whatever, I'm just picking examples that come to my mind, But at other times, it may be just pulling back and maybe meditating for a few hours a day. I don't know, again, this is another cliche, or maybe just diving deeper into your yoga practice, for instance, or journaling practice. I've made a video about the power of habits, this is a good thing to review, maybe, if you're in this withdrawing and inner mode, inner energy, inner reflection, maybe this is a good video to watch, try and develop new practices. But in our approach to time, and the changes that are coming with this, it may be important to, or useful actually, to revise our priority. What is a priority as of now? If you don't have a lot of energy, because God knows what we're going through these days, is energy consuming, right? Be it the positive things, I always say that, but it's like both polarities are, intensifying at the same time. And this is the truth, right? The negative agendas are being amped up because the positive agendas, well, no, the positive energies are amplifying, and so the controllers, invaders, whatever, they don't want that to happen, so they're increasing also their negative agendas and all of their warfare, right? So everything is pulling us in all directions. So if we don't have a lot of energy to spare, which I feel is probably going to be a lot of us at this time, then it's important to revise our priorities. What is the priority as of now? In which way? What is the most impactful way? Like I was saying, what is the most impactful way in which I can use my energy? Which direction is going to be the more efficient for myself and for others? Always think of yourself as well. It's not just about others, but if it's not also just about yourself. It's really having a good balance of that, self and others. And so, yeah, I feel I said everything I wanted to say. Being present, mindfulness, tuning with the elements, for those of us in the northern hemisphere, it's springtime now, so it's a good time obviously to go back out in nature and start to connect with the sun. Is starting to show up again. I mean, it depends where you are obviously, but connecting with nature a little bit more. I feel nature can be such a potent teacher, in terms of being present, being in the moment, but also, priorities. We often see nature, either with animals or plants, kind of sacrificing. I don't know if this is the best example, but let's see if you can follow me. Sacrificing parts of themselves. Plants will kill off a branch if it's sick, or even certain mammals will kind of sacrifice one of the runt of the litter, right, for their energy to be more better, more efficient, better directed, So there's a little bit of this idea, in prioritizing what is the most useful at this time, because we can't deplete ourselves, otherwise we are, I was gonna say useless, but that's a bit, maybe that's a little bit harsh, but we are not. We can't help, or we can't help others if we can't give from an empty cup. That's the saying I was looking for. Sorry, took me a while, but yeah, we can't give from an empty cup. So if we are not, if we don't have a lot of energy, so we have to prioritize what we can give and what we cannot, And so if you only have this much energy, you have to really prioritize, or figure, or even actually before prioritizing, figuring out what we actually want from this life. How do we want to participate in this ascension cycle? How do we want to be involved? What can we bring to the table? Or actually, do we even want to be involved? Do we want to participate? If so, yes, and then how much and how? What can we bring to the table? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? Where can we improve, or where do we know we have a limit there? What are our limits? Sorry, and really figuring this all out, and then from there, after observing ourselves and kind of like reflecting and journaling, maybe brainstorming on our desires, then making priorities. What is the most important? Maybe as of now, it's your health. Health is your priority because you've had a poor health. Maybe as of now, your priority is your children because you just had a small child and you want them to be your priority because you see them as the future of this planet, right? Maybe as of now, your priority are your pets. Or maybe your priority is getting your house in order. Maybe your priority is creating a new business. Whatever it is, we all have, and I'm sure, like when we are in those upwards. What's the word? When our energy, is challenged, and a lot of things are going wrong, and we start to find solutions. We can easily become overwhelmed by the amount of things that are that need be addressing, right? And especially when we are in this society that is so constantly, aggressing us from all sides. There are so many things to think about, and I wrote an entire article about that. My article in March called Artificial Matrix and the War on Consciousness, right? I talk about all these different aspects in which our consciousness is being attacked, and it can feel very disempowering to see all of these things we have to implement in our everyday life, and how we have to always think about things, how always try to think ahead, to avoid all those traps. And sadly, this is the reality in which we're in, and so we can't really do otherwise. So instead of feeling overwhelmed, we have to make a list of all these things that needs to be addressed, that needs addressing in our life. So if we talk about toxicity, for instance, you may feel like, oh, there is everything to look at, from personal care to house products, to food and water and I don't know, even beddings and mattresses and things like that. Like, there's toxicity everywhere, and it can be overwhelming. And if this is the case, then focus on one thing at a time. It's better than nothing, and you're gonna go much farther in this way, so focusing at one thing. So maybe food is your priority, right? Because this goes inside your body in the most obvious way. Or maybe you are in a position where you can't really focus on food for whatever reason, because maybe you live somewhere where you don't have access to a lot of organic produce and whatnot. Then that's fine. Accept where you are, trust God, and then place your focus on something else, which can be maybe toxic thoughts, or toxic relationship, So again, focusing, making sure that we find what is a priority, but what is a priority in a realistic way, not just what we think we want to be a priority, but what is realistic priority as of now, given my current taking into account my current given circumstances, right? This is very important to always keep that in mind, that we are given a certain set of cards, right? In a way, when we incarnate here, depending on where you live, and if you're alone, if you have family, if you have kids, the type of countries you live in, even just within the same country, it can vary so much, what you have access to in terms of food and all of that. So it's important to take into consideration our own circumstances always, not try and compare ourselves to what other people say online or whatever, or wherever. Actually, of course, people have good intention when they share these things, and I do so myself. It's just to give a general idea. Never take things so what's the expression? Take things with a grain of salt, like understand that these are general guidelines, but then you have to apply and adjust to your own circumstances, your own current reality. So, yeah, all of that to say that I think I'm going to be taking a break from social media and all of that to prepare a few things, maybe come back in a month or so. Yeah, definitely. I don't think it will be more than a month. And really, this is to encourage you all to really learn, try and be mindful and a good listener to yourself, right? Try to see where you're at and listen to yourself. What do I truly need? Tune into your own inner truth. And I'm saying this also because, for instance, with diet, we're seeing so many polarizing information. You are seeing people healing themselves from cancers and whatnot through an entirely vegan or fruitarian diet. And then you have other people healing themselves from the same disease going with animal-based diet, right? And I don't think there's one right and one wrong, I think both are right for different people. So you have to listen to what is true for you, and also be open and let go of too strong of belief systems. So if you want to try something, try it. And then if you see it doesn't work, be willing to see and to be honest and sincere and see, okay, this is clearly not working for me, then maybe I should change. Okay, whichever side it is or whatever topic, this is applicable to a lot of things. So I hope this was helpful and this made sense. And thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.